Ladies, what if I tell you that speaking about your worth to your man only ruins your power? Well, the harder you try to explain your value to him, the more he might lose respect for you. The only way that you can become more valuable to your man is when he sees it himself with his own eyes. And that's why in the next few minutes I shall reveal 10 powerful ways to show a man your worth without uttering a single word about it. These methods tap into the psyche of men, letting them know how to value you as a partner. And this awareness will help you attract your crush or enhance your love life. So let's begin. Number 10. First, know your worth. Let's begin with one of the most important things, ladies. Did you know the very reason your boyfriend might be taking you for granted and not understanding your worth? Well, it's because you yourself are not sure how valuable you are in this relationship. It's like trying to sell an idea that you are not sold on yourself. The first thing to do is absolutely believe in your own worth, like you've got to feel it in your bones. This concept would be a bit confusing to understand in practical life, but let me give you a quick example to help. Let's say your relationship with your boyfriend is not really on good terms. You guys get into arguments more often than normally, and he often takes you for granted, calls you bad names, and cancels important dates at the last minute, and does everything to his own convenience without ever considering your opinion. And what do? Well, if you don't know your worth, then you probably ignore yourself too. You just listen to everything that he says and just let it slip. He cancels and you reschedule all the dates again. And you do everything at his convenience also. After doing everything the way he wants, trying to vocalize your worth just doesn't seem to work because he can see you don't value yourself anyways. So what you need to do is love yourself on top of everything else. And when you know how valuable you are, your entire energy shifts and you radiate confidence. This confidence assists you in making all the right decisions, and you don't let him take you for granted because, well, he'll feel it in the way you act. In short, when you know your worth, you won't have to explain it to him. But the question is, how can you see your real value? Well, first of all, figure out those things that make you unique and amazing. Uncover your strengths and focus on enhancing them. Secondly, understand what your role is in the relationship and how it will be affected in your absence, and let him know about your actions. Number 9. Set healthy boundaries. Ladies, relationships are all about sharing anything and everything, whether it's your personal time, your hobbies, physical intimacy, or conflicts. But what if I tell you that all these things need boundaries, even in relationships? Setting healthy boundaries in every aspect of your relationship is one of the most important ways to show your worth to your man. For example, let's say he often gets intimate whenever he is in the mood without really considering your consent. Well, even if you are not interested, well, he doesn't take it seriously. So, setting boundaries on this behavior is a prime example of showcasing your worth. Let him know that he can't force himself on you if you don't want it, and then consent of both sides is a must for physical intimacy. Similarly, if he doesn't take your opinions or decisions seriously, don't try to speak about it. Just let the consequences decide for him. If you want personal time for a hobby or for exercise or some other thing that you have, well, don't sacrifice it for him. Set clear boundaries that is your personal time and you won't let him ruin it. These simple responses let him know where you stand without drama, and it helps him understand your limits. A guy who values you will respect this and adjust because he wants to meet your needs too. You see, strong men are drawn to boundaries because they show a strong, confident woman who knows exactly what she wants. And such a confident woman is incredibly attractive and valuable to men. But here are some tips that you should follow to set boundaries in a healthy way. Firstly, be firm but polite. It means don't get rude and handle everything in the nicest way possible. It's about creating an atmosphere where both of you feel valued and respected. Number 8. Stop reacting impulsively. We all know of women around us who think that they know their worth and they have it all figured out. But when men don't treat them accordingly, well, they react with anger. Trust me, ladies, acting impulsively on smaller or larger matters doesn't help at all. It actually does the opposite of what you intend to achieve. When you completely lose it on everything, men won't see you as much of a valuable partner or worthy partner. Why? Well, allow me to explain with this quick example. Assume you get upset because your man didn't praise you for wearing this new dress you bought tonight, or get very angry because he couldn't reach out for a date on time. This impulsive behavior doesn't make the situation any better, does it? Instead, If you handle things calmly, you will see the intensity of it. If you lash out with something like, "You never care about me," this will only make him defensive and everything will turn into a blame game. But if you handle it with grace, like saying, "It's okay to be late, it happens, but I hope you will take our date seriously next time," well, this will make him realize his mistake, and he will try his best not to do that again. That's how you can build up your value to him without actually asking for it. You see, ladies, guys don't value impulsive ladies because when we are angry, well, we end up saying things that we don't even mean. And words can hurt worse than arrows. So if you are a woman who can't control their impulses, well, then you can't expect a man to be respectful and value you. Most guys respond positively to calm and honest conversations instead of hurtful ones. Number 7. Start saying no. Have you ever wondered if saying no to his unreasonable request would have an impact on your relationship? Surprisingly, it does, but in a positive way. Most women have this misconception that if they say no to him, well, their partner won't love them. But it's actually the opposite. Agreeing to everything is what lowers your worth for him, but showing disagreements is actually attractive and valuable in the eyes of men. Understand it like this. Suppose your boyfriend thinks everything should be done the way he thinks is right. Well, like you guys are decorating the house and he thinks everything should be decorated the way he prefers. Then you must start saying no to him. You must be polite and tell him that, hey, we both should decorate it together by combining ideas. And similarly, if you have made plans with your friends and he wants to cancel those plans, simply deny this request. Let him know that your friends and family are equally important to you and you must give them time as well. If he expects you to handle everyday things like cooking, cleaning, grocery, and other stuff, well then make it clear that it's not going to happen and you both have to put in equal effort into living together. When you start saying no, your partner will see you as a more valuable asset because, well, you stand for your rights and preferences. It makes him realize that you're not someone who will always be bending to his will, and that's attractive because it signals strength. Of course, the key here is to say it politely in all situations. Saying no politely with a smile on your face while explaining it with well-organized words will do the magic, instead of those harsh words with loud tones. Remember, it's not about the words at all. It's about showing disagreement for your priorities. Number 6. Ignore him sometimes. Tell me, ladies, do you love your boyfriend so much that you want to be by his side literally all the time and can't imagine ignoring him? Well, if the answer is yes, then I've got some bad news for you. This could be the reason your man might not value you as much. When you are too clingy, your man will start to take you for granted. Let's clarify this concept with a practical scenario. Let's say you are a person who wants to talk to their boyfriend all the time. Now you keep on sending him text messages or calling him all the time, and at first he will respond to every call or text, but over time he stops responding to those messages in the same way. He may stop picking up your calls or replying at all. Now why does this happen? Well, it happens because you become too clingy, and he starts thinking that you don't have any outside life other than him. So instead of continuing to chase him, you reverse the whole game by starting to ignore him sometimes. You stop contacting him at all. Not for a few hours, not for a few days. He may not realize it at first, but he will realize it sometime after that you are not trying to contact him. Now this will force him to wonder what's going on and why are you not trying to contact him at all. He may think that you are losing interest in him. Now the fear of losing you will push him to reach you by himself, and he will start putting in more effort into keeping you engaged. My point is that sometimes creating distances is essential to relationships to make it work out. Just make sure that you don't ignore him for far too long, or create a distance so long that it may become difficult to compete. Ignore him for a day or two, and then respond to his calls and messages. Also, don't make it an ongoing strategy because he will see through it. Use this method only once in a while. Number 5. Show appreciation. Why is it that sometimes we forget to appreciate the person that we're with, even though we expect appreciation in return? If you want to show your worth in a relationship, appreciating your partner as much as you want to be appreciated yourself can make a big difference. It's all about creating a positive, supportive dynamic where both of you feel valued and respected. So, if your partner does something nice, like planning a date night or helping out with the chores, don't just brush it off or assume it's his duty. Show him that you noticed by saying, "I really appreciate you doing that, and it means a lot to me." This simple act of appreciation goes a long way, and it makes him feel seen and respected. It also shows that you understand the effort that he's putting in. The outcome of this is that he starts to see you as a worthy person. To start appreciating your partner more, begin with the little things. If he does something thoughtful like picking you up your favorite snack or helping out with something around the house, we'll acknowledge it right away with a simple thank you or I really appreciate that. It doesn't have to be anything big, just showing that you noticed his effort. Over time, try to make appreciation a habit by regularly complimenting him or pointing out the things that you value about him, like his sense of humor or how supportive he is or how hard he works. Number 4, maintain your independence. Now, what if I tell you that relying on your partner too much is one of the reasons why he might not value you as much as he should? While relying on your partner is a good thing, and it is an essential part of any relationship, doing it too much and all the time makes it not good because excess of everything is bad. So, what should you do instead of relying on your man? Well, it's about maintaining your independence and different aspects of the relationship. For example, instead of completely relying on him for inner finances, you must do a part-time or even a full-time job so you don't have to financially rely on him and put too much burden on his shoulders. Maintaining your independence also means you pursue your own goals, interests, and hobbies. When you put yourself aside and become available for him all the time, agree to everything that he says, and do everything he says, well, you show him that you don't have a life outside of him, which is not very attractive. But if you don't always agree, hang out with friends, and go to art classes, and even have your own alone time, well, he's more likely to respect you. Let us see the psychological reasons why guys respect an independent woman over a dependent one. It's not just about lifting the burden off their shoulders. When you show him that you are whole on your own and can do just fine without him, well, he simply can't take you for granted out of fear of losing you. He knows that if he doesn't value you, then you might leave, and since you don't rely on him for everything, well, it won't be a difficult thing for you to thrive without him. Moreover, to tell you the truth, an independent woman just emits confidence, and this energy is sexy. Number 3, pamper yourself. Ladies, isn't it true that you don't take care of yourself as much as you used to after getting into a relationship? It's a common practice for women to stop pampering themselves, and there are 2 main reasons for that. One is that they think that they don't always need to look beautiful because, hey, they've got the man of their dreams already. Secondly, they just stay busy and don't find the time for themselves. Either way, when you don't take care of yourself, guys are less likely to value you, and there is a very good reason for that. You see, guys are very visual beings. Instead of relying on emotions, guys rely on what they see. This can't be changed because that's how they are. So if you don't look clean and all, and your hair is a mess, and you haven't done skincare in a while, and your clothes are not as feminine, then psychologically your partner will find it off-putting. So it's very simple. Getting into a relationship doesn't mean that you can't look beautiful. Give yourself as much time as possible to do so. Not only take care of yourself, your face, your skin, but also rely on exercise to stay fit and in shape. Wear appealing clothes that your man loves, and trust me, he won't devalue you again. Number 2, stop playing mind games. If you want to make a guy understand your worth, one of the most attractive things you can do is avoid those manipulative mind games that most women play. But aren't we told to actually play these mind games to attract him? Well, yes, but whoever told you that was wrong, and let me explain why. Think about those times when you might delay texting back just to seem mysterious or to make him chase you. Well, it might seem like a smart move, but it often backfires. You might think that it's a high-value woman trait and that you are too busy. But many guys probably think that you are replying late because they are not important enough for you. Instead, when you're open and honest, you create a much stronger connection, and your man will respect you a lot more. You see, playing games can come off as insincere, and guys often find that off-putting. And when you're straightforward, you show him that you're confident and real. Playing games with him might work for some time, but he will eventually grow tired of that behavior and will try to move on. Number 1. Become his vulnerable space. Have you ever thought about creating a space for him that's safe, where he could be vulnerable, and how that would completely shift the way he sees you? Men often struggle to open up because society tells them to stay tough and keep their emotions in check. But when you become the person that he feels safe enough to drop that guard around, well, it's a game changer. It's not just about being there for him. It's about showing him that his feelings are valid and he doesn't have to hide who he really is with you. When you make him feel safe to be vulnerable, you're showing him that you're not just a partner. You're someone that he can count on. This builds a deeper connection and earns his respect because it shows you're emotionally mature and genuinely care about his well-being. Now, creating such an environment requires a bit of practice. You must learn to stay calm and non-judgmental, no matter what he tells you. Just listen, support, and remind him that it's okay to let his guard down with you. When he sees that you respect his emotions and don't view his vulnerability as a flaw, it will make him value you and respect you even more. And with that, we have completed today's video. And if you ladies enjoyed it, please support us by liking and subscribing to the video, as this will help us to create more essential and undiscussed topics about relationships. You may connect with us in the comment section and feel free to ask any questions or share any insights.